So, everybody, welcome to our regular Thinking Thursday. And today we have a super motivational speaker, Aman Chandra. I just love what he says, and I love the tagline of his bulletproof happiness coach. It really makes me feel happy when I even read it or listen to it. So, today let's first begin by uh, listening to Aman and his journey. So, Aman, if you can play the video, that would be great.
Sure, thank you. Just a second. Do you often feel stressed and anxious? Are you stuck in a relationship which is just not giving you a sense of meaning? Do you feel lost at work? Does your life lack a sense of direction? Would you like to overcome these issues and create breakthroughs in your life? Hi, I'm Aman. I'm a bulletproof happiness coach, and I have over 10 years of professional experience in helping people create transformation in their life in the following key 5 areas. Number 1, mental and emotional health. 2, personal relationships. 3, work and finances. Number 4, life, purpose and meaning. And lastly, personal and spiritual growth. Before you think, what qualifications do I have to help you in this journey? Or that maybe I am too young to be able to assist you in such a serious thing? Let me tell you my story. I was 2 years old when my parents separated. I remember moving from my home to my grandparents' place with my mother. I had to shuffle back and forth between my grandparents' place and my former home at such a small age. How do you think a 2-year-old feels when something like this happens? Yes, that's correct. I was feeling extremely unsettled, unsure, and I didn't understand why this was happening to me. My journey continues. When I was about 7.5 years old, my biological father passed away. I, as the only male child, had to do the last rites at such a young age for my father. Once again, I was feeling extremely confused. It was feeling very unfair. I felt, why is this happening to me? All my friends seemed to have a supportive father figure, and I just didn't have something like that in my life. My life lessons continued. Rolling forward to when I was 13 years old, I began experiencing a severe form of anxiety which was termed as OCD. To be more specific, I developed this need to learn my lines in my work, in my study, in such a way that I didn't miss out a single word. And if I did, I would feel extremely disturbed and anxious. If you're aware of what OCD really is, you might relate to the fact that I used to feel extremely helpless when this happened. It feels like your mind is in a jail and there is literally nothing that you can do to relieve yourself of this stress. There's no logical reason for feeling such extreme stress, but you are powerless. There was only one thing which eventually really helped me, and by the end of my story, I'll be revealing that to you. My life lessons continued, rolling forward to when I was 18 years old. I went through a potentially life-threatening physical illness. I had to be hospitalized, I had to go through a minor operation, and during that time, I missed out on an entire set of my first year college exams. How do you think all this made me feel? By now, I was beginning to think, why is life so unfair to me? Why is this happening to me? This eventually propelled me to dig deeper. My search for answers made me want to understand what is life all about? Who really are we? Why do we go through these trying experiences? My personal growth journey began as soon as I went through these experiences. I studied under various masters, various global personal growth masters, such as Tony Robbins, Eckhart Tolle, Jay Shetty. I studied multiple books in the personal growth space, and I learned and applied all these life and happiness hacks on myself. I continued to apply them for many, many years, and eventually I realized that yes, these have made a significant change in my life. I have created massive breakthroughs, and I am in a position to be able to assist other people in creating these breakthroughs in their life. Do you think that someone who has learned so much from life itself and studied under global masters is in a position to help you with his practical experience? I am confident that I can help you create a transformation in your life. I can help you live a happy, peaceful, and a powerful life. Would you like to work with? That was, I hope it was visible and audible this time.
Yeah, perfectly.
So Aman, I just have to say one thing that people talk about experience as being the best teacher.
Right.
And that is something that you fit in completely, because when you experience problems, you search for a solution, and then you find a solution and you apply it to yourself, so you know exactly what works and what doesn't work, and then when you help others, uh, from day 1 to day 20 how this client is going to move, because that's exactly what's happened to you. So I'm excited about listening to you and your journey so far, and the way you handle clients. I'm really excited about it. I'm sure everybody is excited. So please, Aman, the floor is yours. And
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
My pleasure also. And hi, officially, everyone. That was just a video. This is me live. So let's have a good conversation today. I have one request from everybody, which is something that I always say in before any masterclass, any program of mine. I hope all of you are sitting upright. Okay. And please come live on camera as well as keep yourself unmuted. The only reason for this is because I'm going to be asking all of you to participate. Let this not be like a school classroom, please. I want to hear everybody. I want to see everybody's beautiful faces. And one last reason is that if you're here live, then you'll make sure that you're not getting disturbed by any other things for the next 30, 45 minutes, right? So if you all follow this simple thing, can you put your hand up? Are you able to follow why I'm saying this? High five for all of you who are here. I'll just wait a few seconds. Please unmute yourself and at least come on camera. That will force you to be a little bit present here in the now. Yeah, a good force, I would say. Thank you, Pragati. Thank you, Momita. Thank you, Anupama. I like the word inner shift.
That's what I work under. That's the brand I work under.
Yes. Awesome. So thank you, Sneh. Everybody else, I'll just wait another 10 seconds. Please do seat yourself. So basically, if you could just be in an environment that is conducive and you won't be disturbed, say for the next half an hour, that would be awesome. And then I'll begin. So while you all are just setting yourself up, You all have heard my story, so that's who I am. One thing I just want to add today is that everything I will be sharing with you is from my complete personal experience. And it's like tried and tested on myself. I have been the guinea pig, and all the tools that I will share with you are something that have created a shift. It's not just something read from somewhere and gone and straight applied it. They've been tested on me and like thousands of my community members. So I have one request. I promise that you leave today after whatever 30, 45 minutes, maybe 60 minutes, feeling a shift within you as long as you listen closely and you promise to apply. This is one promise I need from you. You promise to apply, because the thing that I understood was that I can listen to things, I can understand them, but until I diligently applied it, I didn't see a shift. So this is the only thing that I'm going to ask you. Make sure that you are open and you are ready to apply. There are a few things we might do today itself which will help you to apply and see a shift. So let's just dive straight in. Are we ready? Is everybody excited? Should I begin? Do you want to know how you can bulletproof your happiness? What does bulletproof mean? Anybody would like to answer? What does bulletproof mean?
Foolproof.
Foolproof.
Foolproof, okay. Okay, do you know have you heard of a bulletproof glass? A glass that cannot be shot through. Yes? So now imagine if you could say that your happiness could not be permeated. Would you like that? If it was bulletproof?
Yes.
Good? Yes? Who likes this? I want you to unmute and say yes if you like this. Let's
Yes.
not
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes,
Everyone
absolutely.
is there with me? Unmute and say yes.
Yes.
That's how it works today.
Yes, yes,
Absolutely.
yes.
Let me give all of you a double high five. Thank you. Awesome.
Mommy.
So, okay, now here goes. The first thing that I want to talk to all of you about is, I'm just going to request Shri to make her environment a little conducive. There was some background noise. Okay, now, so the first thing that I want to share with all of you is something called awakening to your own reality. The first thing that I want to talk to you all about. And if you all want to keep a pen and pad with you, please feel free. Otherwise, I want you to listen to me. And the reason I don't use a presentation is because I want you to be able to see my face and like take the energy. That's more important than seeing a presentation, okay? That's what I believe creates a shift. All right. So let me start off with a quick story for all of you. Football is the most widely watched sport in the whole world. And there are about 3.5 billion followers, which is almost 50% of the world's population. And the reason I'm taking this example is because it's the closest that you can get to like a universal phenomenon, right? On a general level. So now let's imagine that there's a football match between team A and team B. Assuming that it's not going to be a draw, there's only going to be one kind of an outcome, or there are two kinds of outcome, right? Either team A wins or team B wins, correct? Now, what happens to these entire 3.5 billion people who have watched this match? Or let's assume all of them did watch this match, all the followers, okay? Are all of them going to be ecstatic, or are all of them going to be sad? Assuming team A wins.
Of people voting for or sitting and applauding the team would elate for the winning team.
Absolutely. And there would be one set of people who would be indifferent, not bothered about either team, right? So possibly a third outcome, correct? So there are three possible states of the world in this case. One set of people, very, very happy, correct? One set of people, very, very sad, assuming they're very passionate fans. And a third set of people, indifferent, going about their day without any change, correct? Everybody is with me till now? I can't see anybody. So I'm going to ask you to unmute and say yes. Are you with me till now?
Yes.
Yeah, awesome. Okay. Now, so why did I take this example? if you heard this analogy closely, there is one event, a single event, the same event across the world, but there are three different kinds of internal states in people. Are you with me? There are three different kinds of internal states with people. So, if I were to ask you, is it the event that is responsible for people's state of happiness or sadness
No.
or indifference? Is it the event that is responsible for how they are feeling?
No.
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 This simple thing, if you are able to understand, this very simple thing yet very powerful thing has already begun your transformation. What transformation has it begun? You are responsible for creating your own reality. The event is not real until you have made it real. Because the event is the same. There is one football match. There is team A as the winner. But your reality is different. Let's say Anuji's reality is different reality. Assuming Anuji is a follower of team A and Kashmir is a follower of team B. Yes or yes? How many of you will get me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Perfect.
Is it making sense to you?
Yes.
Yeah. So it sounds very simple, but this simple thing is not applied in our life. Let me make that crystal clear to you. We do not apply this very simple thing in our own life. All day long, we go on saying, this happened to me, so I am unhappy. Somebody was rude to me, so I am unhappy. Or rather, let me frame it in a different way. You would say, he was rude to me, how can I not be unhappy? Even more clearly, let me say, how can I not be unhappy? He was rude to me. Okay, so then your remote is outside, right? Everybody has a remote to your internal state. I'll press volume up, you'll scream. I'll press volume down, you'll not scream. Okay, is that how you want to live? All of you will say no. Is there anybody who will say yes?
No.
Now let me ask you, how many of you are following this? Everybody will say not following. Okay, there's
Some
some
extent,
inner shift is
definitely.
following.
Following.
That is why she's created the inner shift, right?
Yeah, I do follow, and
So-
sometimes I do miss it also.
That's the thing.
I'll not deny I miss it also sometimes, but quite a percentage of it I do follow.
Excellent. Here's the trick. You have to be extremely conscious of this simple, powerful tool. It's happening with you all the time. You are creating you need to awaken to your own reality that you are creating every second of the day. This is the conclusion that I want all of you to come to with me in this first section. We are creating our own reality. How many of you are with me? You able
Yes.
to follow this? We are creating our own reality. Now here's the thing. If you understand this clearly, you are reclaiming power. Let me say your remote control is no longer going to be outside. Okay? That's what you want, right? That's what you want. You don't want your remote control to be outside. You want it to be with you. Okay? So awesome. This is enough to really create a huge shift in your own, create a transformation in your level of happiness already. If you can follow this, if you can start applying this, you may even leave right now and say, I'm going to be happy now for the next 30 days at least. But I don't want you to leave. I'm just saying that, okay? I don't want you to leave right now. We have some more interesting stuff to do. But all I'm saying is that this one first hack is powerful enough. And you do have the power to reclaim control over your own internal space. What is your internal space? It is the way that you are feeling right now. Let me ask you a question. Who is responsible for your internal state right now? Who is responsible for your internal state right now?
We ourselves.
I want everybody to unmute and say, what is your answer to that question? Please unmute and
Me,
say.
myself.
We are ourselves.
Myself.
Ourselves.
Awesome. So every time you have been unhappy, who's been responsible?
We ourselves.
Excellent. This might feel like, am I crazy? I am making myself unhappy. But we are not aware of this. We need to become aware of this simple shift within us. Or rather, we need to become aware that we need to make this simple shift. Yes? Since this is so powerful, I'm going to conclude this with you. by sharing one line. And I want all of you to please listen closely, okay? The line is everybody listening?
Yes.
Can you unmute and say yes? Are you listening? Are you awake?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
That's just 3-4 yeses. There are
Yes,
about
yes,
27
yes.
people here.
Yes, yes, yes.
Awesome. Excellent. The line for you is, please listen closely. Nothing is anything until you give it a meaning, and then that thing becomes for you exactly the meaning that you gave it. I'm going to repeat this for you because this is very powerful. And while I say it this time, I'm going to write it for you also. Just let me know if everybody can see this whiteboard. While I'm speaking, I'm going to write also. Are you all able to see this whiteboard?
Yeah,
Yes.
we can.
Okay, so here's the line for everybody. I'm going to write it in caps just to help you understand that it's very powerful. Okay, I'm writing in caps. Nothing is anything until you give it a meaning, and then that thing becomes for you exactly the meaning that you gave it. Is this line self-explanatory? Are you able to understand this line after what we
Yes.
have discussed before this? Making sense to you?
Yes.
Yes. So it's very simple actually, but very, very powerful. Everything that is happening to you in your day is because of the meaning that you are giving it. If you are not getting that promotion, you are feeling bad because you gave it a meaning. You said something that maybe I am not lucky enough. You said that I am not good enough. You said that this is how it is going to be irrespective of whatever effort I put in. That is the meaning that is making you feel unhappy. Yes or yes? Are you all able to follow? Making
Yeah.
sense?
Yes.
Yes.
Super. Please stop me and ask me if you have any question also, by the way. Okay. Now, since this is so important, there's one last way I want you all to understand this. And this last way is, I'm going to remove this if you've got this line now. Please listen closely. There is no one singular objective reality. There are only a gazillion subjective realities. Let me repeat that for you. There is no one singular objective reality. There are only a gazillion subjective realities. Now, let me stop this share for a second. Again, a different way to understand the same thing, but very important. So, how many people are there in this world? Like, let's say about 7+ billion people, correct?
Yeah.
I haven't checked the population census for a long time, so I think it must be near 8 billion now. Now, imagine there being 8 billion different realities. There's the same world, but there are 8 billion different realities. Everybody is creating their own reality. And that is why, here's a golden nugget, here's a bonus for all of you. There really is no real right and wrong. Because if everybody has their own reality, the right and wrong also becomes relative and has a perspective. Do you all follow? Does it make sense to you?
Yes.
So if you talk about a relationship, or if you talk about a disagreement, it's only because it's not a disagreement between two people. Hear this closely, everybody. This is like a, let's say, a bonus. There's no real disagreement between two people. It's a disagreement between two different realities. Are you able to follow that? Who's following that? Please unmute yourself and say yes. Are you
Yes.
following that?
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Yes. Yes.
If you can start grasping these things, and I'm sure you all are part of Truptiji's community, which is probably, I have more to learn from you than to share with you. So I'm sure you're grasping this really, really well. Okay. All this is helping you reclaim your own power. Okay, are you able to follow this? That is helping you reclaim your own power. The power over your own state of, or your own mental and emotional state. And ultimately in life, why do we do anything? Let me ask you a question. What is the most or the highest driving factor to do anything in life? I'd like to ask this question, open question, and let me pick somebody. Let me say Anupama. What is the highest driving factor for anybody to do something? You're on mute, just letting you know.
Highest driving factor, happiness, basically.
Super.
They want,
Exactly.
they want to be happy.
Yeah.
You eat because you want to be happy. You want earn money because you want to eventually be happy. And let me add on one thing: happy and peaceful. There are two things I would say: happy and peaceful. So ultimately, everything that you are doing is to reach a state or a mental and emotional state of peace and happiness. And the funny thing is, we decide to let go of this state thinking that we need to do something to get to it. So basically, that means you get attached to the end destination and you forget that the journey is also enjoyable. Whatever we are doing in life, if you want to achieve, if you have, let's say, a business, if you have something you want to, in your relationship, you have some goals, if you want your children to do something, everywhere you set up a particular barrier for yourself, wherein you say, if this happens, then I'll be peaceful and happy. So basically, you get so attached to the destination that you lose your sense of peace and happiness along the way. Right? So this is how, these are the things that are happening unconsciously for all of us. Someone, if you are following till now, before I move on, I have a quick, can you please unmute and say yes?
We're
Are
following
you?
you.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Super. So let me take a pause and let me give all of you a double high five. Listen closely and let it absorb, because it's, as I said, it's already, you are already transforming if you're able to start applying this. Okay. So you are, Rahul is saying something. Let me just check. Isn't happiness an internal state without the path or destination being important? Ultimately, Rahul, happiness is, I would rephrase this by saying that you and everybody are already happy. Let me say that again. You and everybody are already happy until you decide otherwise. Now, this sounds quite crazy, right? Until you decide otherwise. So who would decide not to be happy? Let me give you a secret which might make you feel a little uncomfortable also, but it's important. Many times in the day, you decide to let yourself not be happy. And this is where you can start creating a change as well. You are deciding to let yourself not be happy. Does this sound crazy? Does this sound like, how dare you say
No,
this to
no,
me?
no, no.
Because if it does, it's
No,
good.
it doesn't.
Why? Because only when you feel a little bit of discomfort, like I shared my story with you, right? If I didn't go through those uncomfortable situations, if I wasn't poked, I would not have been, I would have been in a state of inertia. What is inertia? Inertia is, it's a law of physics. You do not move until you are acted upon by an external force. Your discomfort is a source of your personal growth. Be happy about it. I had no idea I would be saying these things to you. This is all just coming out right now, but I really honestly believe that each discomfort that you're going through is here to push you forward. And in fact, I'm just about to, just a couple of days ago, I had this idea, you may say, to create a specific masterclass just on gratitude, which is based on this concept. And I will be telling people how to be grateful for each and every problem that you have. What a crazy shift, right? I'm saying be grateful for each and every problem that you have. Because if you can do that, it's connected with your reality, right? The reality that you are creating. That reality changes. It's not a problem anymore. It's something to grow from, right? That sounds easy, sounds interesting, but it has to be applied. This is where you need somebody to help you, to hold your hand. And this is the same, like, this is the reason it took me so long to be able to actually apply this. And it doesn't sound modest. I know that it doesn't sound modest what I'm about to say, But I wish that I had somebody like me to hold my hand about 15 years ago with the same understanding right now. And I already said it doesn't sound modest, so I put a disclaimer, right? Okay, so don't tell me later. Okay, so where was I? Yeah. So we're done with this particular part. If you have any question, please feel free to ask me before I move on. And if you're okay, then just unmute and say yes.
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 Unmute and say yes.
Aman,
Yes.
I'd like you to look at the chat.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was
Uh, just
Priyanka
look
said,
at,
I
yeah,
think
just check what she has written.
I think we are conditioned that way that if we choose to be happy in any situation, we are tagged as insensitive and selfish. Okay, so see, any kind of tag, any kind of thing that is being put to you or by you is once again somebody's version of reality. Okay, it's somebody's version of reality. So you have to choose whether you want to still continue living by labels, by what you're seeing around you. And what I mean by this is that since we have been children, all we have done is seen how things are happening around us, specifically with reference to being happy. So it means you'll see in media, you'll see your seniors, you'll see society saying that we need ABC to be happy, or we should behave this way to be perceived this way. So all these things have gotten downloaded into you without you really questioning it. I am asking you to start questioning everything. And if you understand really what I'm saying, I'm actually asking you listen closely, not to listen to a freaking word that your mind says. Stop listening to a freaking word that your mind says. Because your mind is not designed to keep you happy. If you can understand this, you'll be able to start using your mind in the right way. How many of you all agree that if every thought that you generate is not designed to, will not allow you to be happy? If you listen to every thought that you generate in the day.
True.
I want you to unmute and say yes or no if you agree with this.
Yes.
Please unmute and say
Agree.
yes or no.
Yes, agreed.
Yes, I agree.
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 So you need to develop a relationship with your own thoughts. Develop a relationship with your own thoughts if you really want to master your own internal space. Yes or yes? Making sense?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Super. So Priyanka, I hope I was able to answer your question. And Amit says so true. So thank you, Amit. High five for you. I presume it was something we were speaking about at that time. So cheers. All right.
Aman, I want to ask something.
Sure.
When we say subjective reality, is reality what we perceive at our own subjective levels, right?
Right.
And then there is a religious norm, a cultural norm, which is a collective reality, which serves as an objective reality that we need to follow.
Okay.
There is the religion, there is the scriptures, which there is no chance of subjective reality. Something has been given collectively to be followed.
Okay.
So then, uh, how do we reconcile with this idea that there is only subjective reality, there is no objective reality? How do we reconcile?
Okay. So there are some traditions which will find what I'm about to say quite crazy, which is that if somebody in your family passes on, you should not celebrate for, let's say, the next 12 months. Correct? This exists in certain traditions. Now you might be aware or you might not be aware, but in China, they actually celebrate the death of a near and dear one. They actually have a party. So similarly, even when there is a collective reality which has been formed based on a particular norm, that is also up till a certain community only. Within that community or just outside it, people will have a different version of reality even there.
I understand what you are saying, but then that collective reality or that objective norm that actually dictates a state of happiness.
No, even for that, may I? Sorry, I'm
Please,
sorry.
please go ahead.
For that
So,
matter, scriptures say the same thing, that maneva manushanam karanam bandhu mokshayoho. So even the eternal truth also remains the same. The scriptures say the same thing, that you are bound by your own mind. So it doesn't say anything different. That it's your best friend and it's your worst enemy. So you are entrapped by your own mind. Even scriptures are saying the same thing.
no. For example, if I say that my subjective reality is dishonesty is fine, somebody's subjective reality is honesty is fine, but somewhere the norm is honesty is fine, right? So, so this is a certain norm that we need to follow for peace of mind, for to create a discipline in the society, to create some kind of clarity in the society. Otherwise the society just goes chaotic. Everybody lives their subjective reality. I am happy with money, somebody is not happy with money. I am happy with stealing, somebody is not happy with stealing. So there is this some kind of norm that is created, that objective rules and regulations have been kept. So we need to follow them, right? And whilst following them, it is somewhere we become unhappy and happy because we need to follow these norms. So this is what I'm trying to say.
Yes, so Sharina, if you are forced to follow something which you are not in line with, you will feel a disconnect. That is 100% true. What I feel right now, there's a slight confusion between in your way of looking at this is it's good to have norms, it's good to have certain rules, but creating your own reality is more with reference to how you interpret things happening around you, how you interpret an event happening in your life, which is a little different from, let's say, following a societal norm of wearing clothes when you go out. If you
Yeah,
believe you shouldn't wear, so those things are okay.
so that's what I want to say. Your state of your state, the meaning which you give, or
Yeah.
your subjective reality. So you cannot be completely detached with what is all around you, you know. That's what I'm trying to say. That it does affect you in some way. Like I want to be very, very happy. The other person is really sad and his state is really bad, but it is going to affect me. That's what I'm trying to say. Even the norms are going to affect me. I may really want to feel happy while stealing and while saying lies, but the norm is saying no, it's not right. So this is going to make me miserable. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
So ultimately, Shalina, I would say this, that theoretically it is 100% possible that whatever event is happening around you, you decide how happy or unhappy you want to be. This is, of course, requires mastery, but this is 100% possible. Think about this. I mean, there are people, of course, those who have reached such a level of mastery, they are able to even control their interpretation of physical pain. That's how they're able to walk over nails, for example, or walk over fire, because they have completely been able to master this concept. So I'm not suggesting that tomorrow you walk over nails or something, but I'm saying that it is 100% possible that you can start not detaching yourself from doing things, but detaching yourself from creating your own pain. That means you use the word being detached, so that's why I'm saying this. It's possible for you to be detached from creating your own pain while taking all the physical action that is necessary. And this, if you are able to understand this or how you're interpreting this, is you feel free to come back to me with questions.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
following norms and creating your reality can run hand in hand also, is what I'm saying, together.
Okay.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you for asking these questions and participating. Lovely. I hope it made sense. Pragati says, unlearning the society norms. So it's even when you say that a norm is good or bad, that is when you're creating a reality, let me say. Because when I heard, this made me put it in a different way, that even if a particular societal norm is bad for you or is good for you, that is when you are creating a reality. So that's how you can understand this. Yeah? Is everybody with me now? Can you please
Yes,
unmute and say yes?
Yes.
if you're following?
Yes.
Aman,
Yes.
I have a question here, but that's like kind of personal question. I would like to ask you, when was the last time you were unhappy?
Okay, so it's again, it's not like I don't experience unhappiness, but my relationship with my unhappiness or happiness has become, let me say, my consciousness of it has become much faster. So I am able to catch whenever I'm following an old pattern much faster. And I practice it, I practice every day. I practice diligently every day. Whenever you feel stress, whenever you feel worried, whenever you interpret something which creates a shift within you, you have to become really conscious, right? You have to really practice all the time. That's why I said in the beginning also that it's not going to be just enough to hear this intellectually. You have to either work with somebody who's going to really make you strong and to apply this, or you have to do it very diligently yourself. That's the only way you get results. So, what I always say is that if you want results, and this is what my coaching programs are based on, it's 3 C's. First is coaching. The first C is coaching. The second C is consistency, which is just what I've been talking about just now. You have to be consistent with whatever things you want to apply. And the last is community. You have to surround yourself with people who are on a similar journey. This wonderful community that Trupti ji has, it's invaluable. All of you are part of this community and it's really pushing you every single day. And this is significant. This completes your transformation. These 3 things. Yes, so thank you for being such a great facilitator.
Thank you, Aman.
Awesome. So Priyanka, that's my answer. Yeah, and I am curious why you wanted to ask that though.
No, because I was just thinking about it, like how much practice it needs. A person who is doing this, since years and years, it's a very long journey, I would say.
So that is also a reality that you are creating for yourself. If you believe it's going to take you years, it will take you years.
Yes, but the awareness, when I wrote also that, when we choose to be happy in any situation, we are tagged as insensitive and selfish people. So that comes, it's not easy to out of those conditions, and probably one fine day we choose to come out of it, but it needs a hand to be held, and it needs support, a lot of support, I guess.
Priyanka, you are useless. How did you just feel?
I didn't feel anything. I felt like laughing.
Then you are already transforming. Now you've understood how you
know I'm not useless. It doesn't matter if someone is saying this.
So please excuse me. I was just doing an example. I just wanted to understand that because you're listening to this now, instead of immediately feeling bad, you would have become conscious. Okay. Of course, there are many more tools which I can share with you to take this much deeper, to make it part of your psyche. But step 1 is recognizing and becoming aware. So I just did this simple example with you, and it was a joke. But since you already passed it, you have already understood how to practice, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, Aman. Thank you so much.
All right. So just want to check how much time do we have, Trupti ji? Accordingly, I will.
We have about 15-20 minutes more.
15-20 minutes. Okay.
Yeah.
Is everybody enjoying this? Do they want to go deeper?
Yes.
Yeah?
It's lovely.
Carry on.
Momita said, I feel we should not get so happy on anything that we are swayed away. Over happiness kind of a loop we want to fall repeatedly and make us greedy for such incidents. Being grounded and easy to switch on off is the key, but extremely difficult. So yes, this is very true. In fact, this is the Buddhist principle of equanimity, which is what you have just mentioned. Do not get too upset or too happy with anything in life. Maintain a sense of centeredness.
Yes, sir, that creates the expectation of being happiness, and we seek for such incident and comfort zone from others.
Correct, Momita. Do you want to know? This is a little off topic. I'll remember to come back to this equanimity. But do you want to know my definition of expectation? Who wants to hear my definition of expectation?
Yes.
Cheers,
I
sir.
want you to unmute and say yes if you want to hear my
Yes.
expectation.
Yes.
My
Yes.
definition of expectation.
Yes.
Definitely, yes.
Awesome. So my definition of expectation is that it is the mother of all disappointment. Simple.
Yes.
2 words. Expectation is the mother of all disappointment. In fact, let me add, it is the mother, the father, the brother, the sister, the son, the daughter, everything. Okay.
Disappointment or unhappiness because it's never met with.
Correct.
So
Now,
why
people,
keep all the eggs in your one basket?
yes.
It's like fire, it engulfs everything.
Correct. And where does expectation come from? It comes from your mind, because the mind is just programmed and designed in that way. It makes you want to latch on to things which were actually never really yours. What do I mean by that? I'm like just going with the flow right now. So we all think that, this is my body. This is me. I am doing this. But is it really your body? Let me ask you a question. Is it really your body? Right now, this hair that is growing on your head, are you growing it? Are you responsible for its growth? It's growing right now. Do you know that it's growing? It's growing by whatever millimeters or whatever, but it's growing. If you had something to eat before this, or if you're going to eat something after this, are you digesting that food? Are you really digesting that food? Are you doing anything to digest that food? How many of you all are with me? Can you say yes or no? Are you?
Yes.
So ultimately, the you that you are really aware of is not really the you, or at least it is not the real you. There's something way beyond. Something way powerful. And the great thing about this is that way beyond thing is something that you are a part of. It's not different from you. You just have to become aware of it. Okay, some people will use the word soul, some people will use the word God. I stay away from those words because I don't want people to get confused. I just want you to understand that there is a really solid, a super cool, awesome version of yourself available, a higher version, let's say. You just need to become aware of that. Okay? Making sense? Were you all able to follow this? Did these 2 examples make sense?
Yes.
Lovely, great. So Momita, just coming back to that, when we talk about you touch this concept of equanimity, how I have developed this into my into a formula in my bulletproofing happiness blueprint is enjoy everything. Don't stop enjoying things, but enjoy them from a space of being aware of the real truth. And when you do that, you can indulge in anything that makes you happy without getting over attached to it. So because at some time what might happen is you won't realize when you are becoming indifferent. There's certain indifference which will crop into your system where nothing will begin to bother you. So for me, the slightly extended version, or the one that works for me, is where I enjoy everything that is available without getting over attached to it. So even when I am experiencing an extremely happy thought, or when I am experiencing extreme excitement, I am doing it with conscious awareness. I'm doing it with conscious awareness and not just, going completely into that thought and emotion. I'm realizing that I am experiencing excitement versus saying I am excited. Listen to that closely. There's a difference. I am experiencing excitement versus I am excited. So the next time you say, use this with anger also, okay? The next time you say, oh, I am so angry, I want you to pinch yourself. Are all of you ready to pinch yourself? You
Yeah.
want to learn some tools on how you can start creating a shift within you? The next time you say I am angry, I want you to pinch yourself. Do it right now. All of you are with me, do it. Do pinch yourself so that you get used to it.
Okay.
And when you pinch yourself, I want you to say, no, I am not angry. I am experiencing anger.
Experience.
I'm not going to explain this to you. I'm just going to leave it over here. I want you to absorb this, okay? Yes? Making sense to all of you?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
So I am literally giving you all the formulas, okay? Now you have to start applying it. I like the word formula because I'm an engineering student. I liked mathematics. So I call all these tools also formulas, formulae. Okay. So yeah, awesome. Making sense to you, Momita? You were able to follow?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Great. Okay.
It's like if I would explain, I'd explain it like that, like it's watching a movie in the movie hall. So we get happy, we cry, but at the end of the movie we have to come out of the movie hall willingly or unwillingly. If we get like so much associated with the thing, but we don't get to stay in the movie hall, someone will push me outside. Okay, movie's over, you go out. Now the next batch will come. So it's like that. You enjoy everything, but you come out of it.
Excellent. Absolutely.
Aman, why should we for positive emotions, like why shouldn't we feel like I'm joyful? Why should we say that I am experiencing joy? I mean, why not make it more personalized for positive experiences, feelings?
Because if you say I am joy, then you will also say very shortly after that, I am sorrow.
That.
Okay, okay, so two polar ends.
Yes,
You cannot
the
say,
same expression loop.
correct? Then you will be part of that matrix, you will be caught in that loop. Because if, the funny thing is, I learned this the hard way or whatever way you may say, there's actually no difference between joy and sorrow. There's no difference between love and hatred. They are actually the same emotions, just vibrating at different frequencies. So, which means if you experience joy, at some point you have to experience sorrow. That's how this emotion works.
So that
It's
same thing with
always on a
happiness.
scale.
Same thing with happiness then, because then it's again a mind thing. Happiness.
Correct. And if you think about it, that moment that you were experiencing that joy, there was some event that made you experience that joy. And whatever that event was, it cannot last 24/7. Think about this. It cannot last 24/7. For example, if let's take a simple example. You like pizzas, you ate pizza, you said, I am really enjoying this. You can't eat pizzas 24/7, can you? At some point, you will have to eat, let's say, maybe you don't like kaddu, for example. At that point, you will feel not so happy. Okay. So, whenever we get attached to some kind of joy, we will experience sorrow at some point. Making sense to you?
Yes. Absolutely.
Yes, Rahul? Are you convinced? If
Kind
not
of.
convinced, I'm still here.
Kind of. No, because I was talking about the bulletproof happiness. No, then again that the same thing comes there that again if happiness has got to be, have the polar thing of sadness.
So, what bulletproof happiness is actually not the happiness that you have been experiencing till date.
Mm-hmm.
And bulletproof happiness is actually equal to eternal joy.
Mm-hmm.
Bulletproof happiness is equal to eternal joy. And it is beyond this
the
scale.
polarities.
It is beyond this scale. But I use the word happiness because this is what people will relate to.
Okay.
Since you have asked this question, it is beyond this scale.
Okay.
It is not subject to these polarities anymore.
Okay, I got it.
Yeah, awesome. High five for you. Okay, excellent. Shelina says, I don't understand this, Shelina. Kybalion, what is that? If you want to just
No, it's just the concept that you said. They just mentioned in the Kybalion. It's the
okay.
same concept that you have said.
Okay, my only request to you is don't leave anything as a concept. Apply it diligently or let somebody help you apply it, but please don't leave it as a concept in your life. Are you with me? Do you promise?
Yes.
Okay, let me move on then, since keeping Trupti ji gave me a time of, let's say, another 10 minutes if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, I
5
think
minutes?
it'll be okay. 10, 15. Take time.
Okay. The next thing that I would like to share with you all is something that I call the secrets of stress and anxiety. Let me repeat that for you. The secrets of stress and anxiety. Are you all excited? Do you want to hear what are the secrets?
Yes,
Yeah.
What are the secrets? I'll proceed if I can hear a yes from everybody. Otherwise, then
Yes,
everybody has to understand.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, yes.
Otherwise, the
Yes.
secrets remain vaulted.
No,
There's
but we
still
want
many.
them.
There is Anupama, Anjali, Vaishali, Mamta, Shri. Okay, Oppo is also there. Anita, Nidhi.
Yes.
Yes. Anupama
Yes.
says yes.
Yes.
That's the spirit. Excellent. So for this one, you may want to keep your pens and pads with you. Secret number 1. Secret number 1 is that we experience stress when the mind perceives something to be unpleasant, either in the near future or right now. Now, what is the secret over here? No problem, Anjali. As long as you can listen, that's fine. And you can see me. Okay. So the how to understand this is the two important words over here is mind. In fact, 3 important words: mind, perceiving, and unpleasant. These are the 3 important words for you. It's your mind that perceives that situation to be unpleasant, and then you become stressed. It's not an automatic thing. It's not a default thing. So, for example, let's say there are 2 people. Both of them went through the same event that they didn't get a promotion. Not both of them are going to be equally stressed. Why? Because their perception, the way their mind perceive that, is going to be different. One will find it very, very unpleasant. One will say, okay, maybe next time I need to do this and I'll give it another shot. There's always going to be a different way that it's perceived by the mind. That's the secret, okay? That's secret number 1, making sense to all of you.
Yes.
Are you able to follow this?
Yes.
Next time
Yes.
I am stressed and it's so necessary, please understand it's not. It's your default setting of just listening to everything that the mind has said and not questioning it at all. This is what creates your psychological suffering. Yes? So secret number 1 is good for everyone? Yeah?
Yes.
Awesome. Second secret. Everybody listen closely, please. Second secret. The mind always keeps us stuck in the problem versus thinking about the solution. Think about this and analyze this in your own life, okay? Whenever you come across a challenge, 95% of the time you will be blowing up the problem in your mind. You will just keep blowing up. This is wrong, that is wrong, this is wrong, that is wrong. And maybe 5% you'll think, okay, I need to do this. The rest of the time you'll just be blowing up the problem. And let me be more clear, it's not you who's blowing it up, it's your mind that's blowing it up. Yes? Are you able to follow this?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
It's time to become conscious of these unconscious mistakes. It's time to become conscious of these unconscious mistakes that you have been making. And at this point, I want to share with all of you that it's not really your fault that you're making these mistakes. It's not your fault that you're making these mistakes. Why am I saying that? Please answer this one question for me. What is the most complex machine on planet Earth?
Our mind.
Human
Mind.
brain.
Mind.
Brain, mind.
Correct. It's the mind, or the, let's say, the entire human being. It's the most complex machinery on planet Earth. And ironically, the most complex machine on planet Earth does not come with an operating manual. Yes or yes?
Correct.
So it's not really your fault. You're just downloading things from others who are making mistakes. As I said before, your seniors, media, society. But here's the game. Now that if you've understood this, you need to make a commitment that from today onwards, you will not make these unconscious mistakes. Are you ready to do that? Because only you can save yourself. Nobody's coming to save you. How many of you all agree?
Yes, true.
Nobody's going to come and save you. You have
Yeah.
to save yourself.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
And to add to this, we can save only ourselves. We can't protect others from these. This
can show
generally
them
we
how.
make mistakes. We keep
Yes.
trying others to protect them. We can
Correct.
do. We can apply all these things to us only.
That's true. Super. Thank you, Shakuntala. Possibly you can show people the way. As
yeah.
the saying says, you can...
We can inspire them, but we can't force them.
And the best way to inspire them is by showing the way, by working on yourself.
Correct.
True.
As that reminds me of one of the things I'm about to release a book also, and one of the chapters in that book is the title of that chapter is that you cannot fight the darkness in your life. The only thing that you can do is shine light on it.
Correct.
And that is actually the only way in which you can disperse that darkness. This just reminded me of that chapter. And it's very interesting, right? It made a lot of sense to me.
Yeah.
Yeah? Making sense to others? How many of you all
Absolutely.
agree with that?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Awesome. Great. So the third secret, final secret for all of you is, are you all still excited or
Yes,
too early now?
yes, yes.
Yes.
No, we want the third one.
The third secret is that your mind has been fooling you into believing that it is completely natural as well as needed to be stressed. Let me repeat that for all of you. Your mind has been fooling you into believing that it is natural and needed to be stressed. Now, let me elaborate that for all of you, because some of you might be saying, what is going on here? Okay. If I am in a problem, how can I not be stressed? By the way, let me tell you that is the mind revolting right now, because you're trying to topple the mind, right? Trying to break its patterns. So it'll start resisting. It'll say that, okay, if some of you are going through a relationship problem, or some of you are going through financial challenges, if some of you don't know what to do in life, you are stressed, right? It feels very real. Yes or yes? Does it feel real?
Yes, must be.
Now tell me this, have you ever questioned and asked yourself, just ask yourself a simple question. And if you haven't, I want you to ask yourself right now, how is being stressed serving me in any way?
Correct.
How is being stressed serving me in any way? And in fact, I would like you to make this more memorable for you. So add a word before. How is this? Yeah, before stress, saying, I am putting a dash. I want you to put a word that you like. Some abuse, something, which will make you remember it. How is this damn stress serving me in any way? So that you remember this line, okay? And punctuate it with more words that you like, okay? So that you remember this line. This is where the mind makes us, or rather it fools us, because you feel that unless you are stressed, you can't take action. Did anybody say that to you? That you can't take action if you're not stressed? Nobody said that to you, but you operate that same way because you've seen it happening like that. Do you agree? Do you follow? Are you all able to follow?
Yeah.
Please unmute and say yes if it makes sense to you.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
So think of it this way, that in life, if you have a problem, and then if there is a solution, you need to work towards that solution. So either by taking some action or doing something. So problem and action and solution. Are you all with me till here?
Yes.
Now tell me, in this process, where did I say anywhere that stress is needed? Did I say anywhere that stress is needed?
No.
But you all have put stress all over there, and there's very little action and very little solution. Honestly, that's what's happening in our life.
Right.
Making sense to you all?
Yes. Yes. Absolutely.
If you're understanding this, this is a real game changer. I want all of you to give me a high five. I want all of you to give me a high five if you're understanding this, because this will change. This will shift your life completely.
Yes.
Okay? And by the way, it already has. Whether you recognize it or not, you have already transformed. You are not the same person who you were at 8. We started a little late, so maybe 8, 10 p.m. Okay? Yes? Super, Anu. Excellent. So I got a heart symbol from her. I got one from Trupti ji also. I'll sleep well today. Great. Oh, so many now. Okay. Now I won't sleep.
Here you will get. Here you will get hearts all the time.
Okay. So those are the secrets for you all. And once again, this is a beginning point for you. You have to recognize that the journey has just begun by unraveling these secrets. Now you need to either yourself or with the help of somebody really apply this diligently. Like Priyanka was asking me, when did I last feel unhappy? I work on it at least 50% of the day. Right? Because once you started the journey, there's no looking back. You have to keep continuing. And at some point, everything will become very clear to you. I mean, it will become an experience. Like for right now, you're thinking, how do I become happy? It will become clear to you in terms of an experience. This is how one becomes happy, which is how it happened for me just a few years ago. All principles, all tools, they suddenly became an experience versus being just knowledge, let's say. There's a word for this also. It's a Japanese word, I think, it's called Satori.
Yeah.
I think it means sudden realization or something like that, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So if you keep practicing, suddenly it will hit you, and you'll get insights of your own also, right? And then you can work with me also as a coach, right? We create joint programs.
Lovely.
So that's how it works, and I think it's a good time to maybe ask you all for if you have any questions as we come to a conclusion of today's session. If anybody wants to ask me something, please feel free. And while you are thinking about your question, I am also happy to let everybody know that if you need my support for helping you work through any challenge, feel free to connect with me. And I'll let you know how it can happen. So like I do several programs, some just for relationships, some just for mental and emotional wellness. Whatever you feel, if you want, if you think anything, feel free to connect with me is all I'm saying, because it's a journey. It requires continuous effort. It needs application. And the main thing that I promise people is that I will hold you accountable. I won't let you back down. If you enter the ring with me, I won't let you get out of the ring, is what I'm saying. So think about that before you enter the ring, because once you enter, I won't let you go. Yes? Making sense to you?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
That's how you transform. So please ask me questions. We've discussed so many things, by the way. Each of these things is deep enough to help you create a big shift. All the things that we have worked on today, all the hacks that we have worked on, they're enough to create a shift.
So can I ask a question, Aman?
No, you
This
can't.
is Nidhi here.
Please go ahead.
Yeah. So, so my question is that at what, as you mentioned that you are an engineer also, and So my question to you is that what was it that that made you aware or made you understand yourself that this is the journey that you needed, or you not needed, you need to take at that point of time, which led you eventually to even make a shift today in the evening in our lives, thanks to Trupti ma'am?
So Nidhi, thank you for that question. I honestly believe that whenever you go through any challenge in life, whenever you go through any discomfort, whenever you go through anything that is you don't like, you have two choices. Choice number one is you can succumb to it and you can become a victim and you can really believe that, let's say, your life is unfair and that you are, let's say, maybe doomed to be like this, or that this is how it's supposed to be. Option number two for you is to look for some deeper answer, which is what my experiences served as a catalyst for. Every time I went through, whether it was severe anxiety and OCD, whether it was having to go, have a life-threatening physical illness, whatever it was, use every challenge as a catalyst for your own personal growth, and you will never go in reverse gear, is what I would say. If you can have that approach, you will always move forward, even if it is just a small step. But if you can continue that, eventually everything you'll be able to reach a stage where you can actually at least smile even when you're going through an apparent adversity. And isn't that a nice way to be?
Yeah, that is absolutely. And it's so so today I think listening to you also proves another point, that looking at you naturally, I mean, you're young, but it proves the point that age really doesn't matter, and we all look at each other as souls, and so yeah, I mean, thank you so much. Thank
My
you.
pleasure.
Yeah, thanks a ton.
And here's a secret for all of you that yes, I do look young, and probably one of the reasons is that because I use some of these tools on myself, hopefully. But another secret for you is that even when I was many years ago, for some reason my friends always used to call me grandpa only, because I was always unknowingly giving them some gyan or the other, until I realized that I should be doing that as a profession. So maybe it was meant to be. So that was one inside secret for you behind the scenes.
Yeah. So Aman, what you are saying, that a challenge one faces itself is a reminder of something to be worked upon for us, for everyone.
It is, yes, it is a reminder for you to work on something. The ideal way that I would say it is that you should look at it as a catalyst for your own personal growth. Because until there is a certain sense of discomfort, there's no reason for you to look at something in detail and to have some sort of growth. So if everything is, it's like this, I say, some people ask me, would you choose to be Ambani's son or would you choose to be a beggar? I would say yes, I would probably choose to be a beggar, because there would be many more chances for me to learn from life, because discomfort leads to growth. Maybe I'd choose a slight combination, but you get what I'm saying, right? So that's how it is. And yeah, please feel free to ask me anything else.
Any more questions?
I don't have a question, but I must say, Aman, I joined in a bit late, so I missed your introduction. But I look at you and wonder what a wise old soul you are. Thank you so much for sharing your experience.
Another way of saying grandpa.
Thank you.
No, you're young, but your soul is old.
Thank you
My
so
pleasure.
much.
A lot of us are from the past life, believe in past life regression. We believe in souls
Yeah, so that comes very naturally.
reincarnating. So
Comments
for
that-
us, you are an old soul who's
Yeah,
bringing the
that's so
wisdom here
true.
to us.
That's so true,
Thank you so
Anupama.
much for sharing.
Anupama, you can watch the video of
Yeah,
Aman's
I would. I
introduction.
missed the
Yeah.
beginning. I missed that
Even I
part.
missed the
Do
beginning.
watch
Yeah.
it. It's on the group, okay?
Definitely.
Yes.
So I think the entire hour was spent listening to some nuggets of wisdom. And Aman explained it so beautifully, everything. And one thing I have to congratulate Aman for is the choice of words. Because it's very easy to say the word negative. That is negative in your life or an incident is negative. But I was listening so carefully to Aman. He never used the word negative. I think you all were listening carefully to him.
Yes.
He didn't say negative,
Challenges.
nor did he say positive. And I think that is really the takeaway for me, because the way Aman has spoken about everything, whether it's challenges, appropriateness, he's used words which actually we should be using when we have self-talk, rather than just branding everything as negative. Because I always say this to my parents, in my school, that parents have a very restricted vocabulary.
Mhm.
I think that goes also from parent to child. Children also have a very restricted vocabulary. So they don't have words when they have to express their emotions. I'm sure Raman would agree to that. When he has
Correct.
clients also, they kind of, everything is pooled together as being negative. But if you break the emotions down, there are so many words that will come up, like disappointment, resentment, anger, disloyalty. And then I think it becomes very easy for people to understand and filter their situations. And then they're able to understand things much better. So I think that's something that so beautifully, Aman, you have spoken today. I was listening, and you have a habit, good habit rather, of emphasizing on certain words as if you want to catch our attention. So I liked that, because I think that is also another way that when we talk to ourselves or when you observe your self-talk, we kind of, compress one word, or we emphasize one word, or we expand one word, or we magnify one word, and then that word becomes, like you said, you. Instead
Correct.
of the experience, it becomes you. So I think that was really a wonderful way that I was observing you speak. And lots of takeaways, I think, for all of us. I really loved everything that you said. And of course, you started off with that thing, nothing is anything until you give it meaning and power. So I think that was a very interesting statement that you made. And the other thing, of course, like you rightly said, we have this habit of generalizing. Always happy, always sad, never happy. I think Anupama is also a coach, and she'll agree with me with the NLP terminologies, the traps that we have in our life. So, Aman, I think you've touched upon so many areas, in this talk. And I'm thinking about what you have said. Interestingly, I have to give a talk to my 10th standard students on Monday, because one of the girls in our 10th standard has committed suicide. And students are obviously worried because 29 their exams start. So I was just thinking of what you were saying vis-a-vis the kind of realities that my students need to work upon. So thank you. It's giving me food for thought today.
My pleasure. I want to thank you for inviting me also. And I was very excited to meet everyone. Glad to connect with everyone.
And
And
I'd also like, Aman, you need to put forth your upcoming workshops on the Thinking Thursday group, so everybody can have a look at it and join you. That would be lovely.
Sure.
Wonderful
Before I leave,
session.
before I
Very
leave-
short and crisp and really wonderful session. I enjoyed completely. Especially one incident I would like to repeat here for the viewers also, and just to revise ourselves. The same event happens, like the promotion, not getting promotion, and two people are having different response. Maybe one is getting very upset, and for other one it doesn't even matter. So such thing we can learn, understand, and imbibe. Wonderful session. Enjoyed completely.
Thank you. High five to everyone.
Really a very wonderful session, and making everybody interact with you. You do put everybody on alert. That's a good thing. And also, it was a very potent session because you kept sharing such wonderful tips, which is a very wonderful takeaway. And definitely seeing the bright smile on your face, I'm sure everybody is inspired to follow the suit.
Yeah.
Thank
Of course,
you
so
for
I
the
missed.
kind words.
So I miss saying that Aman has been smiling through the 1 hour. He's been smiling, and he's such a wonderful smile and a wonderful handsome face. Smile goes right up to his eyes, you know, when he's speaking. So I think that's an added bonus for all of us. Aman, last few words from you.
Yeah, I just hope I'm not blushing right now. I can't see. So I would say the last words from my side is that I want all of you to repeat one thing for me. Everybody has to unmute and say something for me.
Yeah. You are
And
ready.
this is that once all of you are ready, once everybody is unmuted, I want you to follow and repeat what I'm saying verbally, okay?
Okay.
Yeah.
Each word slowly and with real feeling. That's the secret. So here goes. Of 18th November, 9:35 p.m. Please repeat after me.
18th November,
9:35
p.m.
9:35 p.m.
I choose to be happy.
I choose to be happy.
happy.
And I promise myself that I will diligently apply the principles.
And I promise
myself to
I
diligently apply the principles.
Apply the.
Now let's give everybody a high five, each one of us. Big high five. Everyone.
Thank you. Thank you. And I think we should be giving Aman some reactions. So let's give some reactions. Come on, everybody.
Another point is that if the HM is the top level HM,
Thank you. And I don't know who is this person. Sorry. I tell you. Anyway, so thank you so much.
Thank you.
Aman, sorry I muted you by mistake.
I was just saying that I got some messages, so I was just replying to them.
Hanji.
Thank you. Amit, my pleasure. Indra, my pleasure. Thank you. They were just thanking me. So thank you all of you, Mamta, Rahul, Shalina and Priyanka. I just wanted to reciprocate. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Trupti ma'am.
Thank you. Keep joining Thinking
Yes.
Thursday.